Senator Markey says, well, if this thing isn't passed and a done deal before the August recess, then they shouldn't take their August recess. They should just cancel it and stay at work and get it done. And that would have the practical effect of putting time back on the clock for Democrats to use their precious majority to actually do stuff. Reading is fundamental, I know. I do not want to discourage any senators from getting through their summer reading stacks. I've got quite a stack myself. But, you know, why don't they just plan to give themselves more time to get stuff done? What's more important than that in their jobs? I mean, that's what the Republicans would do if the Republicans had the majority. I don't say that speculatively. I say that because we know it for a fact. That is, in fact, what they did. This was 2018.
If you look at the amount of work that we have to do, it's inconceivable to me that we can't use these weeks. We've got this backlog of nominations. Just to sum it up, I think we have enough work to do for the American people that we should be here during these weeks. Everybody should anticipate that we will be here as I announced today.
Everybody should anticipate we will be here as I announced today. What he had announced that day, this was 2018, Trump was president, Republicans were in control of the Senate. What he had announced that day is that they were canceling the August recess. Actually, they didn't totally cancel it. They shortened it. They took a single week off instead of taking the whole month off. And they did it because they could. Because Mitch McConnell and the Republicans had the majority in the Senate, and they wanted to use it to do stuff, even if their summer reading lists were going to be a little bit neglected. They didn't actually even have legislation they were working on at the time. They just wanted to confirm more Trump judges. But even still, they gave themselves time to do it. They gave themselves effectively more power by giving themselves more time at work to use the majority they fought so hard for before they lost that majority in the next election. Why don't Democrats do that this year? They would give themselves effectively more power and more options by giving themselves more time at work to do stuff while they have this precious majority that history says they are likely to lose in the next election. And conceivably, they could even lose before then. And whether you're for the Democrats' decision to spend weeks and months talking to Republicans who will never vote for anything anyway, no matter how much talking they do, whether you like that strategy or you don't, even if you think the chit-chatting with Republican senators is somehow valuable, well, why wouldn't you give yourselves more time to do that, too? Even among people who disagree as to what Democrats should be prioritizing and doing with their time in the majority, more time to do all of it would help any and all of those priorities. Jonathan Bernstein has recently been making this case at Bloomberg News. You see the headline there, Congress should cancel its summer recess. He argues that more time means more options for the majority. He says, quote, additional Senate time would be especially valuable for the basic work of confirming Biden's executive branch and judicial nominations. There's now an increasing logjam of nominations that have been cleared by Senate committees for final action. It's likely to get worse with more than 100 nominations still needing committee consideration. The result has been that the confirmation pace has fallen well behind what it was at this point in Barack Obama's and George W. Bush's presidencies. Leaving town as currently scheduled for 2 weeks for the 4th of July and then another 5 weeks for August recess without making substantial progress on that gap, that would be irresponsible. Sure, but what about the summer reading? I mean, I think that that's a point well made about nominations. I honestly think that that point is hard to argue with, but it also equally applies to the legislation they want to pass. It equally applies to infrastructure, which they have said they want to pass in July. Okay, good, try. And if you don't get it then, why not say now that you're going to stay until you do get it done?